Hi everyone, I hope your semester is starting out well and you're enjoying your classes so far. Hopefully the courses you have taken so far are meeting your expectations or surprising you with some new information and approaches to your field of study. This semester, we wanted to do something new. We wanted to find out some more about the various programs that are available at George Brown College. So, there are many different programs offered, but when you're focused on your own classwork, usually we kind of miss the opportunity to discover what's happening in the rest of the school. And it's always interesting to learn more about the different programs, different courses. You sometimes might feel inspired to connect with someone who has different expertise at the college or connect with them, or you might even want to consider switching programs after you hear what's out there. So that's why we are organizing this whole series to expose people to the different programs and courses that we have available. Today, we are going to start in the School of Media and Performing Arts and look at the Acting 101 program. I personally don't know anything about this program, so I'm very excited to learn what it's all about. What do people do in that program? And joining me here today is Bethany Parkhouse, who is a current Acting 101 student who will reveal the mysteries of this program to us. So, hi, Bethany. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. So, can you start with maybe introducing yourself a bit and telling us what year and semester you're in?
So my name is Bethany Parkhouse, and I'm originally from Prince Edward Island. I moved to Toronto as of September of last year, so I've been here for nearly a year now. And yeah, I've been taking the Acting for Media program at George Brown College, and I completed my first 2 semesters, and I'll be going into my third semester and my final year there. So I'm very excited.
Amazing. How are you liking it so far? Is it exciting?
Yeah, I love it. I've always been like an actor at heart, so doing something that I love on a daily basis and just getting to learn like more skills and expand my knowledge in the acting world is just something that makes me happy to go to school every day. And I feel like sometimes, you hear about school isn't really that fun, but when it's something that you're passionate about and you enjoy, then
Mhm.
you'll always be happy with what you're doing. So
Yeah, absolutely. And acting is one of those, fancy programs that everybody kind of wishes to be in. But
yeah.
yeah, it's definitely very competitive as well. But I'm sure
Yeah.
you're going to be very successful and everyone
Thank
else
you.
in
I
the
appreciate
program.
it.
So did you take any other post-secondary programs before you came to acting program, or was this the first program that you have ever done?
Yeah, so I actually did 2 programs before this. So I graduated high school back in 2018 and I went right to college after that. So because I was in Prince Edward Island, I just kind of wanted to stay close to home for a bit still. So we didn't have a lot of variety in what was offered back there, but we did luckily have a theater program there. And so I did grow up doing a lot of theater and stuff as well. And so I took the performing arts theater program there. So it was a little bit of everything, a little bit of dance, a little bit of singing, and a little bit of acting. And so I really enjoyed it. I do like the music aspect as well, but I kind of knew that the film specific acting was kind of more where my heart was at. And so getting to do a program like that is more interesting to me. And surprisingly, I also did a project management program for a year. That one was a little bit random, just something that I did during COVID just because, again, like the world was kind of shut down. I was still at home. And originally, I was supposed to be coming to George Brown back in 2020 to do the program, but just kind of decided to take a year, expand my skills. So, yeah. And, I did the program and I learned a lot of skills. It was really cool, but I still, I could feel it in my heart. I was like, this isn't really what's calling me. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go back to acting. And yeah, I'm super happy to be back with it. So,
For sure. Yeah, it's always a journey, like changing programs. I personally did a program before this, and it's not like you don't know what you want to do. It's just like a process. You go and you explore different programs. You learn a lot of stuff. You definitely are not leaving everything behind when you're switching programs. But
yeah.
eventually, I'm very glad that you found the program that you're interested in, and hopefully you're
Yeah.
enjoying it.
Yes, absolutely.
And you obviously have a lot of courses, but what are some of the core courses that everyone in your program takes, and what are they like, basically?
Yeah, so for our program, it's kind of designed that we all take the same courses, and then we have like one elective that we can take as well. So a lot of the core classes that we've started off with as of the last 2 years is we have like speech classes just to learn how to like do like dialect, how to project your voice, things like that. We have movement classes as well. That's something that's really important as an actor is just like needing to know like how you can move your body, like what kind of characters you can portray, just because every character that you have is going to have different movements towards them. We've also had some classes based around like acting experts in the field, so like Meisner classes, and we've done a lot of interesting classes as well. Like one of the classes that we had was called Actor as Artist, so it was kind of like finding out who you are. So a lot of like psychology based things of kind of seeing like who you are as a person and how you can take those parts of you as a person and put it into the work that you want to do, and kind of knowing as well like what kind of actors you want to be, because not every actor is going to want to play every kind of role. It's still very personal to you, or there's some people and they're extremely talented and they can do everything, they want to do everything. So yeah, just a lot of like learning basics, which I think is really nice to know where you really want to go with it and everything. So
Yeah. That sounds very interesting. Like the classes definitely sound very interesting and different compared to what you usually hear from like courses that you're taking in a college or university. Um,
yeah.
Based on the courses that you just described, it sounds like your assignments are a lot of them are not going to be like normal kind of assignments. Like it's not going to be a lot of essays and stuff. So, can you tell us more about like the kind of assignments that you have to do?
Yeah, so absolutely. So we definitely don't have as many tests. We've had like some tests, but a lot of the times I think that it's really more about like the work that you're putting in. So I know that for the basics that we started with acting last year is just kind of like you would do like what's called like the background of the character and then like the questions. So like every time that we're doing a character and a scene, we always have to know like what our objective is as the character. So it's kind of like, what do you want to get out of the other person? And then knowing too, like, what are the obstacles? And it's kind of like up to every student how they want to take it as well. When we're first starting to learn it and stuff, like it is like you make like a background of like what the character is like, but then you can kind of choose like what skills you want to use. We also have what's called tactics. That's used a lot in our work as well. So the tactics is kind of, again, it's little things that you use to find out what you want to get from the other person in the scene. And I think that's something really important to talk about too as well in acting, is that one of the most important things that I think if you're not really in the acting world and you might not know about is that when you're in an acting scene, it's always about the two people. Like as much as, you're doing your own work into it, what you really want to do is you need that connection with the other person, because that other person is going to give you everything for yourself. Because if you are really wanting to get the authenticity of it, you have to have the connection and know like what that other person is saying and really like listen to them, so that the way that you react to that is all based around it. So yeah, it's very different. It's a lot of more like practical work that we do with it. And then, I'm not 100% sure how the teachers go about marking it and stuff, but if you feel like you're doing your best work in it, then I think, and if you hear that the teachers, they always get feedback and things like that as well. So then you can kind of grasp, and it's just always like a learning journey in it. And I think that's what's really nice about it.
Yeah, yeah, it sounds like it's more like hands-on learning, like more practical projects rather than like more writing and essays and stuff. And my program is kind of the same. I'm studying brand design, so my program is also like you have to actually go and do a project for like a long time and then bring the results of that project rather than like getting ready and studying for a test and just do it in 1 second. And the thing is, I see a lot of people kind of saying, "Oh, like you're not doing a test, so it's not that hard. You have time to do it." But the truth is, actually, it's not that. Like, if you're choosing these programs because you think you don't have tests, oh my God, it's so easy. I have time to do the projects. No, actually, if you don't have an interest in it and if you don't want to put in the work, those projects could actually take a lot of time. They are interesting for sure if you like them. But still, I don't like it when people are like judgmental and they're like, no, it's not tests, it's easy.
No,
Yeah,
absolutely.
we both approve. It's not that easy. It's
Yeah,
interesting,
no,
but not that
absolutely
easy.
not.
And you describe a lot of your courses, but which one is your favorite course and why is that?
Yeah, so my favorite course was actually the Meisner course. So Meisner is one of the like greatest acting teachers of all time. And basically the concept of Meisner, or at least what I found that I got out of it, is that's really where you're like being your true self. It's the reactions of how you're really feeling on the inside that sometimes we don't portray. So say like, someone's made you very, very upset and you're really angry about it and you just want to scream at them. Sometimes, especially in society, like we're taught that that's not okay to do. Like if you're upset at someone, you need to be reasonable. You need to kind of find a way to communicate, which I think is like, still I'm saying like, do that. It's probably the best way that you can do it. But it's like, you need to let what you're feeling on the inside out as well. So it was a really interesting class. It was a really interesting class for other people to hear as well. I've had comments of people hearing me like scream at the top of my lungs in the next class over. So, you know, that was really funny. But again, it's just, I don't know, it was just something that if you really can like find into who you are and find out how you're truly feeling and how you want to react to someone else. Like you start off just doing these random questions where it's like, you know, you observe something about someone else. So I might say like, oh, your shirt is blue, which is like, okay, it sounds really weird, but then it turns into something much more where like, what's their reaction to their shirt being blue? Or like, what are you thinking about that? And then, you know, you want to get more personal with the observations as well. So like, if you can start to notice that someone seems like they might be a little bit more upset, like you could be like, you seem like you might be upset or things like that. So yeah, it's a very hard course to describe. But like I would recommend, even if you're not in acting, I would say everybody should try a Meisner course at least once in their life. It's something that's really freeing, and I feel like it's really helped me grow as an actor as well and get into the touch of like who I really am and how I can put that into my character's works as well.
That's very interesting. It's actually a very cool concept. I feel like it's kind of like the public speaking of acting courses, kind of to be more comfortable with reacting to things and like be more
Yeah.
expressive, which a lot of people are not really comfortable with. But I think this class would definitely help them out with this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool courses. So far, I'm liking it. I don't know if I'm going to switch to the program, but I'm actually really liking it. So you also said like this course is kind of hard, but what is the hardest thing about this program? Like, are there any courses that you would say particularly are hard or?
I think that it's really dependent on the individuals and what the courses can be like. I think too, one of the biggest things that you have to learn sometimes is that different teachers sometimes may not resonate with you as well. Or even this was something that I was taught by one of my teachers, is that you can have two teachers and they are both trying to explain to you like the exact same thing. Like the end result that they want is the exact same thing, but sometimes it can just kind of be like the way that it's communicated that, you know, one student might be like, I don't really understand what they're saying. And then another student might be like, I don't understand what they're saying. And then like vice versa. So I think, you know, it's always like, you have to take out of it kind of what you get through it. And like, you'll know when you're doing a good job. Like you can feel it inside when you feel proud of what you've done. And, you know, your teachers can see that as well too. So I wouldn't say like there's any course in particular. Again, like it's just kind of going to depend on the person. But one of the hardest things that you need to do is you need to be vulnerable. You need to be so open to just letting yourself, like if you're gonna cry in that class, like you're gonna cry. I cry all the time, which is, you know, something that you don't really hear in school, and like not in a bad way. I'm not saying like, oh, I'm so sad about the program, I'm crying, but you know, it's just, again, it's that emotional connection with things. So if you're doing something that's going to be a little bit more of a harder scene, a more emotional scene, you need to let yourself really feel that. So that's the way, like, you know, if you're watching TV, if you're watching movies and you're watching like the best performances of all times where you're feeling really connected and really drawn into those movies, it's because that actor is truly feeling it. They're really into what they're doing, and that's kind of what we want to get from everyone as well from our program.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of the vulnerability of it. That's always, ever since I've been doing acting since I was young, I feel like vulnerability was always the biggest thing that they've taught me to do. And, you know, sometimes it can take time. Some people are more shy and not as ready for it. I used to be very shy, very quiet. Now I'm a very extroverted person, very comfortable with myself. And yeah, I think again too, like acting, as much as it is what I want to do career-wise and stuff, I always think like there's so many life skills that you can learn from it too, which is really interesting.
Yeah. That's very interesting. Yeah, for sure. I agree. I haven't taken the classes, but I can imagine how that can be very helpful.
Yeah.
So do you also have a placement or a co-op that's a part of the program that you have to take?
So we don't have particularly like placements and co-ops, just because for acting it's a little bit different, that it's a very competitive thing and it's always surrounded around like auditions and stuff like that. So it's not like something guaranteed. However, we do have the capstones as well. So the capstone projects, I believe it's going to be like 2 short film videos that we do, and we get like directors and like a full crew that helps us out, that we can kind of make a short little video and then use it for our acting reels as well, that we can show in the future when we're doing auditions and things like that, so that whoever's hiring us knows kind of what our skills are like. And within the program as well, what's really nice is you get a lot of opportunities that you can work with other students within the media program. So if they have short films, they do web series, things like that, they're always looking for students to help out with that. So there is lots of opportunities that we get throughout, and I think it's great. Like this summer, I've been doing one like almost weekly, it feels like. So, it's always good like to keep getting that practice and to keep up with it. Like you really do have to always keep trying for it. And if you can't get the work, because like even right now we have the strike going on, things like that, like it's a creative thing too. So like you can make your own projects as well. Like I had a friend in the program, she wrote her own short film and then she got other students within it to help her out with that. So it's there's always opportunities within it still, but no specific like co-ops that they have in place for us. It's kind of something that is left up to us, and then we choose how we want to go about with it.
Amazing. And like if you are trying to like find, I guess like you wouldn't really call it a placement or co-op just because it's more acting. But where would you look for opportunities if you're a student and you want to explore your options?
I think a lot of it has to do with networking, getting to know other people. So just meeting the other people within the media program, getting to know them, and getting to like talk about like what you're like. We do have a thing as well where they kind of like take our pictures on the first day, and then they have that as a reference that they give to the media students. And then depending on like what type of character, what type of look they want to have, they'll end up kind of reaching out to you. But again, one of the most important things that you can do as an actor is just like network. You just want to meet people, get to know people, show them what you're like, show them that you're going to be a hard worker, you're going to be a kind person, and that you're going to be someone that's going to be enjoyable to work with. And then once you're able to do that, that's when you kind of keep getting those opportunities and stuff.
For sure. And I guess you kind of mentioned that one of the most important things that you have to do is networking. But what is your biggest or most important thing that you have learned in this program so far?
That's a really
tricky
tough
question.
one. Yeah, I know, to think of like one off the top of my head. I think it's just like to keep showing up, keep putting in the work. Some days it might be a little bit harder than others. Some days you're going to have those frustrating days where, you feel like you're just not getting it, or you're not good enough, or, it's such a competitive field too, that it's always like, you always feel like, oh, there's someone out there, they're prettier than me, they're more talented than me, they're more whatever. And I think this is going to sound bad, but one of the biggest advice that I got from my teacher was to be selfish, and not in the way like don't be a selfish person is not what was meant by it, because when he first told me that, I was like, I can't do that. Like I want to be kind to everyone, but it's kind of like you have to be selfish in the way that you're focusing on yourself and what you want to get out of that. Like of course, like you want to have fun and you want to do things, but if it's something that you really want to work towards, it's like you need to put a lot of time into yourself and towards what your goals are and where you want to get with it. So yeah, that's I think the most important thing I learned. Again, trying to still like figure out exactly what he means by that, but I think I'm starting to get the point of it, that it's just making sure that you're focusing on you and you're focusing on getting out of it what you want from it. So yeah.
For sure. And I think the first point that you mentioned being always showing up, that's very important, not only for this program and this career, but for everyone. That it's kind of proven, I think, to everyone that if you show up all the time, if you always work hard and try, you're going to somehow finally make it. And especially with more creative fields, that's very important as well. Because I would always say that like the creative fields, it's not like you're going to have a very regular average career path. It's going to be different, like there are going to be ups and downs, and you really have to be really passionate about it and really put the work in to be able to be successful. But yeah, talking more about like career paths and like different jobs that someone could get, what kind of jobs does this program prepare someone for?
Yeah, so I think a lot of people within the program kind of like acting is what they really want to get into. So whether that be like film acting, whether it's like TVs, commercials, music videos, like there's always a lot of opportunities out there. And I think sometimes it's forgotten. Like when we think of like an actor, it's always like, oh, movies, TVs. But there's a lot of things within the field as well. And I know that last semester we haven't really touched into this yet, but we're going to be doing as well, like, voice work. So like if people wanted to do voiceovers, that's a potential. I believe something regarding like video games as well. If people wanted to do like a voice for a video game, like there's a lot of opportunities, even something just like this, podcast. Yeah, it's up to you kind of where you want to take it afterwards as well. Again, too, like I think it's with this program specifically, right? It's not always like a guarantee, like, if someone's in nursing school, like, that they're going to be out, they're going to try to be a nurse. But for acting, it's like, of course, like you're going to be doing kind of something related to the acting opportunities, but whether it's a guaranteed thing or not is, not always a certainty. So again, I think that's kind of where it comes into like, if it's something that you're really passionate about and it's something that you really want, like you're going to work 150% to be able to get it. So
yeah. And I'm guessing you personally, based on what you described, you are also interested in acting after graduation.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect. Sounds great. And are you planning on doing any other schooling after this? Like, is it really normal for people to go like do a master's or like a postgraduate program after this, or?
I think it's dependent on the person as well. I am not choosing to do any more schooling just because, it is my third program and it's kind of where I want to be the final place. Being in Toronto now too, there's a much bigger film industry here than where I was before. So I'm kind of hoping that, and once the strike is under control and things like that, I'm hoping that that means that there'll be some more opportunities open for us here as well. But I mean, it's again very dependent on people whether they want to continue doing schooling. I'm not 100% sure what type of opportunities we have after, whether you can do like 2 and 2s or things like that. Like I know my old theater program, they had like a 2 and 2 where you could do like 2 years at my school and then like 2 years at York University for continuation with theater. But I'm sure that there is some more things that you can do. But I think a lot of people kind of, you do the first 2 years. And again, acting is kind of one of those things where it's like you want to learn those skills. And it's another learning skill. Like I think the thing that we were taught as acting is that it takes like 20-25 years to become like a true actor. So it's something you're always going to do. So so you're recommended like, always like keep learning, keep doing it, keep taking courses. Like there's tons of courses that you can take outside of school as well afterwards that are like 6-week courses or like a weekly thing just to kind of like keep up with it and things like that. So I think that's kind of what I was recommended by teachers to do. Like if you really want to keep doing it, just always keep learning, keep doing things here and there, and make sure that you keep looking for that work. So yeah.
Amazing. And for my last question, do you have any public social media accounts that you'd like to share with us so maybe our listeners can connect with you after this?
Yeah, absolutely. So I predominantly use my Instagram. So my Instagram is Bethany Parkhouse. And I share some of my acting stuff as well on there. Like I do like some behind the scenes. Also another thing I should touch on with acting too is I think like modeling work as well is something that you need to get comfortable with as well. Like just kind of being comfortable with a camera, like it has to do a lot with like you have to network yourself and show yourself. So like kind of I think like staying on top with social media as well is something really important so that people know who you are, and that's kind of how people are going to find you. So I try to do a lot of like modeling things on the side as well, just to kind of like keep up and like play around with characters, things like that too. But it's my Instagram, it's Bethany Parkhouse. And if anybody ever wants to send me any messages, has any questions towards me, I'm more than welcome to talk about anything. So yeah.
Amazing. That's great. So if you're interested in learning more about the program or you just want to see what Bethany is up to in her career, what is she doing, modeling, acting, anything that she's doing, definitely go ahead and follow her. I'm pretty sure that we're going to put the account handle in our show notes as well. So you can probably find it over there. Thank you so much, Bethany, for coming on to the podcast today. This has been really eye-opening, very interesting conversation. This was actually the first of our series that we're going to do on like different programs and get to know the different programs that we have available at George Brown College. So I'm very excited for the rest of them as well. And for our listeners, we'll have, again, a student program spotlight interview each month. So tune in again soon to learn more about your college and the fellow students that are working all together, studying all together, figuring out life. So until then, take care and stay safe. Bye, everyone.